Hello everyone, welcome back to Military Highlights. Since the beginning of the Russian invasion on February 24th, Ukrainian armed forces have gotten a lot of new weaponry. Some of it was received as donations, much was purchased, and a good amount was captured. Today we will talk about the top 5 machine guns used by the Ukrainian armed forces. Note that we are only listing belt-fed general-purpose machine guns. PKM. If Michael Kalashnikov should be proud of his inventions, the general-purpose machine gun made under his leadership is the one. The weight of only 7.5 kilograms, the simplicity of a standard Alaska rifle, and the stamped receiver make this machine gun unique and comfortable for both the manufacturer and the end user. Every war since the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan has proved that it is a gun of choice for ground troops. These are usually seen in two versions, the older PK and the more modern PKM modernized. The PKM is almost 1.5 kilos lighter than its predecessor and is far more common than the older PK. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, Ukraine had a vast stock of these machine guns. Given that every platoon was supposed to have at least one handheld PKM machine gun, it is no wonder so many of them were produced. It is worth noting that every battle vehicle is also equipped with the tank version of the famous machine gun, designated as PKT, where T stands for tank version. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, both infantry and tank versions of PKM were produced locally under the designation KT 7.62. They can be easily distinguished by their black plastic furniture and soft ammo bell pouches. Overall, these are excellent machine guns with a long service history and combat history. Given the simplicity and similarity to the regular Alaska rifle, it takes very little time to train anyone within the Ukrainian forces to operate the machine gun. Combined with modern optics, it can hit targets up to 1,200 meters. MG42. Since the big invasion at the end of February, many European countries have decided to help Ukraine defend itself. Germany and Italy were among the first to provide some of the small arms they had in stock, most notably the famous MG42 machine gun. Of course, original WW2 MG42s are now incredibly rare, hence Ukraine was provided with its modern variants, Italian MG42-59 and German MG3. These are very similar, and the differences between the two are negligible. Although uncommon for the Ukrainian forces, these are very widely spread and excellent machine guns. They are used by a vast number of militaries across the world and are very common in mainland Europe. Given Ukraine's plans to join NATO alliances, it makes perfect sense to upgrade to NATO standard weapons. It is essential to know that they both use 7.62 x 51 NATO standard ammunition, soon to become the standard rifle-sized ball for Ukrainian forces. The 7.62 x 54 rounds used by PKM machine guns are not infinite, and are generally not as good and easy to produce as modern NATO ammunition. M240. The legendary machine gun is used by nearly half of the world. Initially known as the Belgium-made FN Mag, it was adopted by a considerable number of the biggest and most professional militaries across the globe, from Sweden to the USA. At the same weight as the MG3, 11.5 kilograms, this machine gun gives very stable accuracy at a high rate of fire. They are also well known for their robustness and reliability, even in the worst possible weather conditions, and this is a big argument in the Russo-Ukrainian War. It is worth noting that the Ukrainian army is only supplied with these machine guns by the US Army. Unlike other equipment, the US sends the most modern and well-modified M240s to the front line. However, there are not too many pictures of Ukrainians using these machine guns, either in training or battle, which leads us to believe that these were not delivered in large numbers. Anyway, there is a high probability that Ukraine will start receiving modern US-made fighting vehicles shortly. As all American vehicles are equipped with M240 machine guns, it puts them in good practice using them already. Pecheneg PKP. Even though most PKM machine guns were equipped with tripods, they were never popular in the Soviet army. They were also unpopular in any post-Soviet armies. This contrasts highly with NATO armies, where the tripod plays a reasonably important role in the infantry platoon. When Russian engineers realized that their troops do not use PKM for sustained fire, but only in the light roads, so they went on and made the Pecheneg, and it was a success. If you look at a distance, it closely resembles a regular PKM machine gun. First, they equipped new machine plastic stock and, more importantly, an optics rail. It was not different from the Soviet one, which was placed on the PKMs, but only a few PKMs were equipped with these rails. The bipod was moved to the end of the barrel, giving better stability when shooting. This is important for PKM-type machine guns, as they are so light. But the major change was in the barrel construction. Russian and Soviet infantry rarely bothered carrying additional barrels to change after the first one got too hot. Yet there was still a problem, so engineers tried a different approach. By increasing the diameter of the barrel and by introducing the force cooling method, the machine gun can now shoot 600 rounds straight before overheating. The forced cooling system is a tricky but clever invention. 4 longitudinal grooves cut into the barrel run from the gas block to the muzzle. The jacket is them covered. The grooves connect 4 holes in the gas block and 4 on the front of the muzzle device. Like the Lewis machine gun, low pressure generated at the front of the jacket during firing draws cool air through the grooves, cooling the front part of the barrel. Russia never supplied these machine guns to Ukraine until 2022, when the Ukrainian forces captured many of them. DSHK, nicknamed Dushka. The initial Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2014 stagnated into trench warfare after a few months, and Ukrainian forces found themselves often in entrenched positions 500 meters or more from Russian opposition. At that range, their PKM .30 caliber machine guns were not really effective, but .50 caliber guns were, and so they started a program of retrofitting DSHK heavy machine guns with muzzle brakes, initially designed for NSV machine guns on light tripods, bipods and shoulder stocks to use as support weapons. These could be effective against targets like vehicles and strong points up to 1,000 meters when used with good optics or spotters. Later versions also added a pistol grip and conventional trigger, instead of using the original spade grip triggers. Fitted out like this, the felt recoil is roughly equivalent to shotgun firing light birdshot loads. DSHK machine guns were standard equipment on Soviet tanks and other vehicles in the early part of the Cold War, used as anti-aircraft machine guns. There is little practical AAUs of this type of heavy MG against modern aircraft, and I suspect Ukraine had a significant number of them on inherited Soviet vehicles. This footage comes from 2 joint US-Ukrainian training exercises in September 2017 and February 2018. The guns are still in use right now, and suspect they will show up in publicized footage sooner or later. The still videos are from fighting in eastern Ukraine in 2017. The Ukrainian weapon is particularly useful in trench warfare. Just 2 infantrymen are required to operate the machine Dushka, and when used with a scope, it is highly accurate against targets up to 500 meters away.